technology. It's just everywhere now, right? Especially our phones. It's almost like we carry this whole digital world right in our pockets.
It really is. And it's changed things so subtly, but also profoundly. Our sources really show how deep it goes, how it's part of our daily routines now.
Yeah, almost like an extension of ourselves.
Exactly.
And that's what we really want to dive into today. We're going to unpack the impact these devices have both on us as individuals and, on society as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Looking at the source material, we'll cover the good stuff, the benefits.
Right, but also
Yeah,
tackle the challenges, definitely. And look how communication itself has shifted and this big issue of the digital divide, digital inequality.
it's a lot to cover.
It is. So let's start with the personal side. How has all this tech really changed our day-to-day lives? What are the main devices our sources point to?
Well, the big ones are, unsurprisingly, smartphones, computers, sometimes tablets.
Hmm.
And yeah, people use them for the usual stuff, messaging, social media, music,
Studying, homework.
right? Research too. Watching YouTube videos for explanations, reading books online, taking notes. It makes studying easier in some ways.
And free time, maybe more. Engaging. Instantly gratifying.
Yeah, exactly. Easier prep, more fun downtime. But it's more than just helping with tasks. The sources suggest it's kind of subtly redefining how we think, how we interact.
Okay, let's zoom in on the smartphone then, because that feels central. It's gone way beyond just calls, hasn't it? It's this little digital world.
Totally. Instant music, videos, access to friends, even study apps, meditation guides. It's all there.
But here's where it gets tricky, right?
Yeah.
That paradox the sources highlight. You plan to just check something for 5 minutes.
Uh-huh. And next thing you know, an hour is gone scrolling TikTok or whatever.
Happens to the best of us.
It does. And what's interesting is our sources suggest it's not just about weak willpower. It's partly the design.
How so?
Well, infinite scroll, those little notification badges, they're kind of engineered to keep you hooked, to maximize your time on the platform, often more than you intended.
All right, engineered engagement. So that helpful tool can become a massive distraction. It really puts the focus on needing self-discipline, doesn't it?
It really does.
Okay, so let's talk efficiency then. Because tech does make things easier. How do the sources say it benefits our personal lives, makes us more organized?
Well, beyond just speed, it's about how tech lets us structure things differently. Smart devices kind of consolidate everything, work, study, fun in one place.
Makes sense?
Yeah, so you can manage tasks, track study time, like using that Pomodoro technique, the 25 minutes on, 5 off.
Oh, yeah, I use that sometimes.
It helps boost motivation, apparently. And even things like meditation apps or digital diaries for stress. It offers tools for managing modern life.
So it's not just faster, it's a different way of organizing life itself. But is there a flip side? Does that drive for efficiency sometimes backfire, create new stress? What challenges come up?
Oh, definitely. The sources point to some significant downsides. There's the obvious one, just how much time it eats up. But also this constant need to be connected, this always-on feeling can really impact relationships, makes them feel a bit shallower.
Because you're half present, always checking the phone.
Exactly. And mental fatigue is a big one. It's hard to truly disconnect, Even if you put the phone away, your brain feels like it's still running on screen time. Real rest is hard to come by.
Yeah, that struggle to just be present, put the phone down, it's real. The idea that rest isn't just turning off the screen, but actually letting your mind disengage, that's powerful.
It is. It requires conscious effort.
Okay, so we've got this double-edged sword in our personal lives. But it's not just that we use tech, it's also which tech, right? Which operating system. That brings us to the big one. Android versus Apple. What are the main differences our sources lay out?
Yeah, the core distinctions are pretty clear in the material. Android is known for its wider range of devices, more choice for the user.
More customization.
Definitely. More freedom to tweak things, more app options generally, because it's more open. So it appeals to a wider range of needs, different budgets too.
Okay, and Apple. What's their vibe according to the sources?
Apple's more of a closed ecosystem. They control the hardware and the software.
The walled garden.
Right. Which allows for, tight integration, often a smoother user experience, and generally a strong reputation for security. It's harder for bad stuff to get in.
Plus the design aspect.
Oh yeah, the sleek design, the seamless way their devices work together. It appeals to people who like that cohesive brand experience, maybe see it as a bit of a luxury item.
So it's not just about tech specs. Why do people actually choose one over the other? What drives that preference?
Well, the sources point to a few key things. Price is a big one, obviously. Then design preferences, specific features people want, and how much they prioritize security versus, say, customization.
So Android for flexibility and choice, Apple for a curated, maybe more secure, consistent feel.
Pretty much. They have different philosophies, and that attracts different groups of users. There's even a kind of social signaling tied to the brand sometimes.
Interesting. Okay, let's zoom out from the individual user now and look at society.
Yeah.
How has phone tech changed the game for communication? The sources say it's made it instant and omnipresent.
Fundamentally, you can connect with almost anyone, anywhere, instantly.
Yeah.
Think about group chats for work or school projects you can collaborate without being in the same room. Social media, instant messaging. It sped everything up.
The speed and reach are undeniable. But what about the shift away from face-to-face? While instant messaging is convenient, are there downsides? Unintended consequences for, like, real human connection?
Yeah, the sources definitely raise concerns there. A potential reduction in deep face-to-face conversations.
Leading to maybe more superficial relationships.
Potentially. And you see it, right? People together, but everyone's kind of lost in their own screen. It can strain family connections, emotional bonds.
So it forces us to ask, what's happening to real communication? How do we find a balance?
That's the million-dollar question, really. Finding that balance is crucial.
It really is. And speaking of societal challenges, tech also fuels this thing called the digital divide. Our sources define that as the gap in tech and internet access. How does that actually worsen social inequalities?
Well, it creates this huge difference in access, doesn't it? Especially between developed and developing countries, but even within the same city or region based on income.
Right.
If you don't have reliable internet or a decent device, you're cut off from so many opportunities, education, healthcare info, job markets, the whole modern economy, really.
And we saw that starkly during the pandemic, didn't we?
Absolutely. That was a huge real-world test case when schools went online overnight.
Millions of kids couldn't participate.
Exactly. No device or no stable internet. It just widened that educational gap immediately, reinforcing the inequalities that were already there.
It's sobering. So are things being done to fix this? Are there efforts to bridge the divide?
Yes, there are definitely efforts. You hear about aid groups, government projects, trying to get internet to rural villages, giving out tablets to students.
That's good.
It is.
Yeah.
But if you look at the bigger picture, sources are clear. Despite these efforts, that digital divide is still a massive barrier. Technology isn't leveling the playing field for everyone yet. It's still creating this kind of two-tiered system.
Wow. So for all the connections some of us have, many are still left out. And that gap, it's a huge ongoing challenge.
A profound one.
Okay, so as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, we covered a lot. The personal side, the good and the bad of tech, the whole Android versus Apple thing, and these big societal shifts in communication and digital fairness.
Yeah, it's really clear tech isn't just a simple tool anymore, is it? It's actively shaping us, shaping society, for better and for worse.
Absolutely. Which leaves us, and you listening, with something to really think about. In this world that's getting more digital by the second, how do you consciously manage your own relationship with tech? And maybe bigger than that, what can we all do as individuals, as a society, to make sure we're getting the best out of technology, minimizing the downsides, and, crucially, making sure everyone gets a fair shot? How do we stop that digital divide from getting even wider?
Lots to ponder there.